Hey Refuge fam, we're so excited that you guys are joining us for tonight's service. What's going to be happening is me and Stephen, we're going to start out with a song, and then afterwards Emily, she'll be presenting the word. Once we finish the service, we're going to be having a Zoom call. So for any of you guys who haven't been on any of our Zoom calls yet, make sure that you go to the church website. And if you go under Life Youth, you'll find a form that your parents need to fill out beforehand. And then you'll get a code to join the call. For any of you guys who have been on our calls before, you already have the code, so you can feel free to hop on there at 7:30. So now Lydia, she's going to be talking about the song me and Stephen are going to be doing tonight. It's called Trust in You by Lauren Daigle. And she'll be explaining what this song means to her.
Hey guys, I just wanted to share what the song Trust in You means to me. So one of the parts that really sticks out to me is, when you don't move the mountains, I needed you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers, I cry out to you. I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. This part just sticks out so much to me because I know in my own life I've been in situations where they do seem like mountains and it seems like nothing will be okay. And it seems like the Lord just isn't giving me answers like in the song. But I always remember to go to him and to always trust him and to always look for his help. And I just wish that for you guys, that you guys would go to him in your times of needs, and that you will always know that he is there for you and he cares about you and he loves you. Yeah.
Letting go of every single dream, I lay each one down at your feet. Every moment of my wandering never changes what you see. I've tried to win this war, I confess. My hands are weary, I need your rest. Mighty warrior, king of the fight. No matter what I face, you're by my side. When you don't move the mountains, I need you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers, as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. Truth is, you know what tomorrow brings. There's not a day ahead you have not seen. So in all things, be my life and breath. I want what you want, Lord, and nothing less. When you don't move the mountains, I need you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk. When you don't give the answers, I cry out to you.
Refuge fam, I'm Emily. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna have a great night tonight. Just so you know, well, fun fact actually, I usually help out with Side Door. Been here for a few months. I love it here. So let's just jump right in. Yeah, let's go for it. So okay, actually I'm gonna start off with a question. Do you guys remember learning how to do trust falls? I remember learning how to do them when I was in elementary school. I remember learning them in recess, or it was gym class. I don't remember where, but I do remember we turned it into like this twisted game where we would do it at recess, and like people would actually be like, okay, fall, I'm gonna catch you, and then they would move out of the way and then let the person fall. It was terrifying, and I hated doing trust falls. And even now to this day, if I had to do a trust fall, this is what would happen. You know, I would set myself up, the person would be behind me, I'm ready, and everything in my head, I would just say, okay, Emily, you got this, you'll be fine, you're not gonna fall, don't worry, they're gonna catch you. No, they're not gonna make fun of you, you're fine. Okay, just do it, go. And then one of two things would happen. Either I would trust the person, fall, and they would catch me because I have good friends, or I would completely chicken out. So like trusting someone is extremely terrifying. And so I actually looked up the definition for trust just because, why not? And this is what the dictionary said. It is assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something, one in which confidence is placed. So today, we're actually going to be looking at a guy in the Bible named Peter, and he had to put his trust in Jesus. So Peter was one of Jesus' disciples, and the disciples were some of Jesus' closest friends. And so Peter traveled with Jesus, he learned from him, he got to see Jesus perform all of these amazing miracles like healing sick people. Jesus healed a guy who had leprosy, which is like this really gross like skin weird disease. Is disgusting. Jesus also healed someone who was paralyzed. So Peter saw all these cool, amazing things that Jesus did. And so this story happens in the book of Matthew in the New Testament. So it's in chapter 14, and in chapter 14, there's this miracle that Jesus performed where he fed over 5,000 people, which is crazy. If you want to know more, go ahead, read it. It's a super cool story. And so this actually happens right after that. Jesus sends his friends, his disciples, off to go on a boat. And Jesus says, "Kate, go wait for me. I am going to go pray for a little bit. I'll catch up with you later." So the disciples, they go off on this boat, and it's a bit windy, there's some waves out there, and so by the time Jesus comes back, the boat's way off. It's just off in the sea, and so Jesus, this is the strange part, guys, he walks towards the boat on the water. Now, okay, imagine this right now. You are on a lake, maybe it's Lake Louise, I don't know. In my mind, I'm from Ontario, so I think I'm on like Lake Erie or something like that. And so I'm on this lake, or you are on this lake on a boat with your friends. And you've got some friends who are off on the beach, and all of a sudden your friend Fred, who's on the beach, decides, oh, I'm gonna go join them, and he walks towards you on the water. That would be very random. Very weird. You would be terrified. I would be terrified. And that's exactly what happened with the disciples. They were terrified. They were freaking out, and they thought Jesus was a ghost. And so Jesus right away, he says, don't worry, it's me. So Peter, he says, okay, Jesus, if it's you, then tell me to come out onto the water. So Jesus says, come. And so Peter does this brave thing. He steps out of the boat and he starts walking towards Jesus, walking on the water. But all of a sudden, I guess, he's walking towards Jesus and he starts noticing, oh my goodness, there's waves, there's wind. Oh my goodness. And he becomes afraid. He starts to freak out and he starts to drown. And he calls out to Jesus. He's like, Lord, save me. Jesus pulls him out of the water and he says, you of little faith, why did you doubt? So, let me ask you another question. How many people do you genuinely trust in your life? Probably you can fit them on one hand, right? So how do you go about actually trusting these people? Like what are the steps that you take? Trust is built over time. There's this relationship that you build with someone. You don't just hang out with them. You don't go to the movies or bowling or go to the mall. You actually have life conversations with them. And so throughout this, you're actually being vulnerable with them. But trusting someone is more than just you being vulnerable with them. They are also being vulnerable with you. And when you get to this place where there's this trust with that person, there's this moment where you can be so vulnerable that you know that the person you're talking to is going to embrace you no matter what. They will take you for who you are, and they love you for that. And so sometimes life gets really difficult, and we start to lose our trust in God. And so what do? What are those steps to start to trust Him again? Over the last week, I was really struggling. I was trying to figure out, what are those steps? How do we trust God? How do we get to that place of trusting Him? And just like those people that you can fit on one hand, trust is developed through time, through being in a friendship, in a relationship with them. You're being vulnerable with them. When Peter was on that boat, he trusted Jesus enough to step out onto the water and walk towards Him. But the moment that Peter looked away from Jesus and saw the winds, the waves, the bad things that were going on around him, he lost faith in Jesus. He lost that trust. And so Peter began to focus on the scary things around us instead of focusing on Jesus. So how do we trust God? And in Psalm 9, verse 10, or 9 to 10, it says this: "The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. Those who know your name trust in you. For you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you." And so something that I think is really important is that when we want to trust God, or we put our trust in God, we need to look towards Him. We can't get distracted by the scary things that are happening around us. We need to focus on Him. We need to build that friendship, that relationship, that trust, that vulnerability with Jesus. So I actually want to challenge you guys today, this next week. I want you to have a conversation with God. I want you to just talk about something random. It could be you could talk about what food you had for dinner, what cat you have or what dog you have, or whether you had a good day or a bad day. Anything random. But it's through this, when we just talk to Him constantly, talk about random things, we start to realize that God is truly there for us, and that He's loyal and that He loves us. And so it's through this that I encourage you guys to just do this so you can see that you can trust God even more than those people that you can count on your hand. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Our Zoom call starts right now. The link is in the description below, so come join.